말하죠. Hi everyone. Here we are today. We're going to have ITC. We're ITC동탄-2 academic school, and we're going to do the interpretation training college session, first year and first semester. So here we are. You feel nervous? Well, actually, before we start our today's open class, he asked, "What if I'm so nervous?" And then I gave him solution. You can go straight over there. Because we are on the 45th floor in this apartment, by the way. So, okay, we're going to let you know and what we have done during our classes. So just normal our everyday class. So very natural. We didn't prepare actually anything. So natural. Please be natural. 오케이. 네, 그럼 자연스럽게 저희 이제 통역 대학 1학년 1학기 과정을 진행을 했고요. 오늘은 이제 오픈 클래스 시간이에요. 그래서 그동안에 수업 시간에 했던 내용 그대로를 가감없이 보여드리는 시간이 되도록 하겠습니다. 그래서 모든 것을 이제 또 랜덤으로 진행을 하고요. 수업처럼 이제 진실성 있게 보여드리기 위해서. 자, 그래서 오늘 제비 뽑기를 준비했고요. 자, 먼저 before we do this, 자, 우리 친구들의 introduction 들어보겠습니다. 은성킴.
Hello, my name is Eun Kim, and I am a first grade student of Changgae Middle School.
Hello everyone, my name is Winsop Kim. Also, I'm in the Changgae Middle School in the first grade of students.
오케이, 자, 그러면은 한번 뽑아 보입시다. 골라주세요. 몇 번입니까?
5번.
5번 먹고 5번 뭔지도 모릅니다 지금. 자, 자 들으시고 아니 이걸 들어야 될 거야. 자, 자 봅시다.
많이 보이는데.
아 맞나? 으쌰. 자, 그래서 쉐도잉 동시 통역 5과를 한번 해볼게요.
기억하게 수업 때 한번 듣고 해.
미안합니다. 그냥 바로 진행합니다. 자, 영어 하시고 이제 한글 통역하시면 되세요. 하고 그 다음에 또 바꿔서 그때는 또 제비뽑기 딴 거 바꿔서 또 영어하고 한글하고 할 거예요. 알겠죠? 조절하세요.
Bacteria and viruses. Bacteria
세계는 살아있는
are
생명체다.
viruses also
바이러스
living
살아있는
things.
생명체가
The novice
이것을 알기
refers me to
위해서
know both living
살아있는
and
것과
inanimate objects.
무생물에 대해서 알아야 된다. 첫 번째로
Living creatures
살아있는
can produce offspring
생명체는
and
그들의
live
자손을
on.
스스로 낳을 수
Second,
있다.
living
두 번째로
creatures
살아있는
eat and
생명체는
digest nutrients themselves and make energy.
영양소를 스스로
Third,
영양소를
living
스스로
creatures
소화해서
can
에너지를
adapt
얻는다.
and evolve to
그리고
external
살아있는
reaction.
생명체들은
By these
적응해서
three
살아나갈 수
criteria,
있다.
bacteria are living
세균은
things,
살아있는
and
생명체다.
the other
하지만
one, viruses
바이러스는
are not living
살아있는
things because they can
생명체가
multiply
아니라
themselves.
그들
However, the
자체를
second and third
복사시킬 수 있지만
criteria,
하지만 두 번째 세
viruses
번째
are more
조건으로
like organisms.
바이러스는
tend to be between
미생물과
living and inanimate
이것은
objects.
생명체와 무생명체 사이에
Viruses
있다 할 수
enter
있다.
and settle in the cell of other
바이러스를
organisms.
다른 기관에
Once
다른
the virus
기관에
enters our
세포에
body,
안 된다.
it stays in particular
그리고
favorite
가장
area.
좋아하는 부분이 안 된다.
Some
어떤
viruses by
바이러스
skin
때는
cells and other like lung cells.
피부 세포를
How
저항한다.
do
어떤
viruses
세포를
multiply?
저항한다.
Once the
어떻게
virus
바이러스가
attaches to the
짓을 할까?
cell, it puts
이것이
the genetic
세포에
material
붙는
into the
세포에
cell.
붙으면
The
이것은
genetic material
이것은
uses the
유전
cell to
물질을 세포에
replicate the
넣는다. 그리고
virus.
이것은 바이러스가
What
증식하는
is the
것입니다.
genetic material
여기서
here?
유전 물질을
The
구워줄까?
genetic
유전
material
물질을
is a
작은
small chain called DNA and
DNA와
RNA.
RNA로 불리는 작은 체인이다.
The
이
small chain
작은
is in the nucleus of the
이
cell.
작은 체인은
They
핵의
contain important
세포의 핵
information
안에
like our
들어있다.
hair color,
이것은
eye
우리의
color, and blood type.
우리의 머리 색깔, 눈 색깔,
Viruses can be
눈
cloned by
색깔 등을
DNA
정한다.
or
그리고
RNA by
이것은
genetic
DNA와
material.
RNA를
So,
만들고
what is cloning?
그래서 복제라는 걸
Cloning
그럴까?
many
복제는
information as
복제는
themselves.
많은 바이러스를 세포 안에 만들어낸다.
Once the cells are attached to the
바이러스.
virus, The virus
바이러스의
replicated tremendously in
세포
cells.
바이러스가 붙는다면 이것은
Many of the clone
세포를
viruses
증식하기
eventually
시작한다.
penetrate the cell and come out.
그리고 이것을
At the same time, the cell
이것은
is
빠져나가기
coming
시작한다.
escape destroyed.
바이러스가 빠져나온 세포는 파괴되기
Viruses
시작한다.
present in our body are both germ viruses,
세균과
parasitic
바이러스는 모두 병원이니까
bacteria
모든
make disease, but there are more
세균은
things
병을
that
할
can
수
help
병을
human.
병을 일으킬 수 있지만 하지만
Viruses do more
이것은 더
harm
좋은
than
것들을
good.
할 수도 있다.
In fact,
하지만
there are
바이러스는
countless
더
microorganisms in
좋은
and
일보다
out of
나쁜
our
일이 더
body.
많이 있다.
There are microorganisms
많은
in their ears and
미생물들은
runny noses, and
눈물과
half of who is
눈물과
microbial
콧물에
passage.
들어있다. 그리고 반
Numerous
똥의
are
반은
also
미생물이
attached to
들어있다.
the desk, keyboard, and
책상,
smartphone.
키보드, 그리고 스마트폰에
They're
많은
easily coming to
세균이
our
묻어있다.
body.
그것은
That
우리가
doesn't
쉽게
mean
들을 수
everyone
있다.
gets sick.
이것은 우리 모두가
It's
앞서는
because our body
우리는
has a strong
강한
defense system to protect
강한
ourselves.
방어 능력이
This is
있는데
called
이것은
the immune system.
면역력이라
Therefore,
부른다.
it
면역이라
is
부른다.
important to
그래서
have a
우리는
lifestyle and improve
우리는
immunity.
이 면역을 기르기가 생각할 수 있다.
오, 잘했네. Well done, guys. 오케이, 자, 눈 감으시고 뽑아주세요. 먹고 쏘고 아니라. 사과. 사과 뭐죠? 이제 네가 영어 하시고 한글 하시면 됩니다.
Henry Parks, an animal that humans
인간이
breed for enjoyment.
기르는
Pets are
동물입니다.
now called
요즘에
companion
동물은
animals.
반려동물이라고
It is
불립니다.
good to be aware of the value of
이
pets.
동물을 키우는
A
데는
companion animal is an animal that lives together as a member of a
그들은
family.
가족 구성원의
We should take pets that live with people, not just
요즘 많은
toys.
반려동물들은 장난감을 사용하는 것이 아닌 가족들과 함께
Since ancient
살아갑니다.
times,
고대
humans have bred dogs,
역사에서는
cats, canaries, goldfish, and other animals as
고기,
pets.
고양이 등은
However,
장난감
these
등을
days,
사용했습니다. 하지만
reptiles
요즘
and amphibians,
그들은
such as snakes,
특정된 동물을 키웠습니다.
lizards,
하지만
and
요즘날
crocodiles,
파충류
turtles, and
와 다양한
frogs are
종류의
also
동물들을
kept as pets.
기르기도
Pets
합니다.
are living, instead
동물은
creatures.
그들이 살아있는
There
동물로
isn't an nature by
그들은
nature investment
소중한
cost to
존재입니다. 그리고 우리가
And then
동물을
lifetime of
기르면서
care.
우리는 그들을
You should think
주기적으로
about the
돌봐야 됩니다.
responsibility before having
당신은
your
동물을
pet.
기르기 전에 당신의 책임감을 먼저 확인해야
The
합니다.
cost of
첫
pet
번째,
with
동물의
supplies should be considered.
동물의 사료나 다른 비용 등을 생각해야 됩니다. 다음 다른 동물의 종류는 예를 들어 강아지의 종류는 15년 동안 살 수 있고 고양이는 20년 동안 살 수 있습니다. 그리고 이런 기간 동안 당신은 당신의 반려동물을 키울 때 집중해서 잘 보살펴줘야 합니다. 두
Second,
번째,
you need to find a secondary guardian in your
두
family.
번째로 돌봐줄 수 있는 사람을
That sees
찾아놔야
constant
됩니다.
care.
반려동물은
Living a
주기적인
pet at home can
관심이
lead to
필요합니다.
depression.
그리고 당신을 봐주지 않는다면 그것은 우울로 이루어질 수 있습니다. 당신이 동물을 키우려면 올바른 방법이 필요합니다. 그저 강아지, 고양이만 키우고 싶어 하지 마세요. 다른 종류의 동물들도 당신에게 큰 만족감을 줄 수 있습니다. 세 번째, 동물을 키우면서 당신은 많은 시간을 함께 지내야 합니다. 동물은 예를 들어 강아지는 고양이보다 더욱더 많은 에너지를 가지고 있습니다. 그리고 당신이 강아지와 함께 산책을 나간다면 당신은 내 목줄을 차야 됩니다. 또한 강아지는 복종하는 훈련을 받아야 합니다. 매일매일 복종하는 훈련을 받아야 합니다. 당신은 반려동물을 키울 때 책임감을 가질 필요가 있습니다. 당신은 반려동물을 키움으로써 행복을 가질 수 있습니다.
오케이. 자, 그 다음. 민서 잘 뽑자. 아니, 딴 거야.
3번.
아, 어차피 동시 통역 2 할 겁니다. 3.
Sometimes
한
my
번씩
mother
우리가
gives me
엄마가 어머니는
advice.
나에게 조언해
She tells
주시다.
me to save my
그녀는
money for
나에게
rainy day.
비 오는 날을 위해서
I should
돈을
eat
모으라고
my
하고
vegetables if
나에게
I want to be strong when I grow up.
커서 강해지려면
She
책을
says
먹으라고
that you
한다.
read what you
당신이
see.
보는 것을
I didn't
읽는
know
것을
what
보라고
that
한다. 우리는
was, so
그것을
I asked
그게
her.
뭔지 모른다
She
답해서
said that if you're good to people, they'll be good
그래서
to you.
어머니가 너가 다른 사람에게
If you do bad
잘한다면
things,
다른 사람에게
then
잘
bad
거라고
things
말해.
will come back to
그래서
you.
당신 네가 나쁜 것을
My
한다면
mother
너에게 나쁜 것을 걸 거야.
is always
나의
giving me
어머니는 항상
advice. She
나에게
says
조언해
that a
주신다.
penny saved is a penny earned.
나의
I am still thinking
어머니는
about that
돈을
one.
아끼는 것, 돈을 버는 것이라
Some of
했다.
these things are difficult to
어떤
understand.
조언들은 이해하기
My
어렵다.
mother is very
우리 어머니는
wise.
아주
She says that
지혜로우시다.
she has learned from
그녀는
her
그의
mistakes.
그녀의
She tells
실수로부터
me that
배운다고
she would
한다.
like me not to make mistakes,
그는
but
나에게
she says that everyone does
그녀는
make
나에게 실수를
mistakes.
하지 않는 것을
This
바라지만
important
그녀는
thing is that we
모든
learn
사람이
from
실수를
our
한다 말한다.
mistakes.
우리
My mother said that
어머니는
nobody is
뭐,
perfect.
완벽한 사람은 없다고 말하신다.
My mother
우리
tells my
어머니는
sister that time is precious.
나의
My
어머니는
sister wastes time, and my
나의
mother doesn't
어머니의
like that.
여동생에게
My
시간을
mother
배려할
tells
수
me
있다.
to be true to myself.
하지만
She
여동생 그 말을
says
잘
that I
듣지
should
않는다.
not follow the crowd. I
그녀는
should
나에게
listen to my
존중을 따르면 안
conscience and do
된다고
what I
말했다.
think
그리고
is right.
나이가
She says that it doesn't matter
그녀는
if I fail with
당신이
something.
너가 무엇에
The important thing
실패하든지
is you try.
중요하지 않고
If you've done your
도전하는 것이
best, then that is
중요하다.
all that
그리고
matters.
무엇이 모든 것을
I listen to my
나의
mother.
나는 나의
I
어머니의
think
말을
she
항상
gives
듣는다.
me very good
나는 그녀가
advice.
아주
My
좋은
mother have
친구를
a lot
해준다고
of common
생각한다.
sense.
그녀는 많은
I
기본
hope
상식을
I
가지고 계셨다.
Want to be
내가
wise as
만약
she is.
내가 만약 내
Sometimes
자신을
I wish
가지고
that
나
she
그녀처럼 조언해 주고
would
싶다.
give me so much
나는
advice.
한
I
번씩
think
어머니가 나에게
I'm
너무
more
많이
willing.
조언한다 생각한다.
But in the
하지만
end,
결국에는
I
나는
always remember what she said,
어머니가 하신 말을
and I
항상
try to
생각한다.
live by the
그리고
standard that
그녀가
she has
나에게
set
말해준
for me.
것대로 살려고
Take
한다.
the advice that their parents
당신의
gives you.
부모님이
They only
해주는
have your
조언을
best
들어라.
interest and her.
그들은 항상 당신에게 사랑으로 길러주신다.
오케이, 잘했습니다. 은성.
In the 1890s, many artists lived in Greenwich Village in New York.
뉴욕 거리에 있는 작은 마을에 살았습니다. 수진
The
수와
two girls first met each other in the
예술가
apartment.
했습니다.
The two girls talked happily for an hour
며칠
about art.
한 시간 동안 예술, 옷,
About
그리고
food.
음식에 대해서 행복한 얘기를
Soon
했습니다.
after their
그들이
meetings,
만난 후
Sue and Johnson
수와
moved into a
존슨은
studio apartment
다른
together.
아파트로 이사를
They
갔습니다.
lived at the top of
그들의
a
방은
house in Greenwich
맨 위에
Village.
있는
In December,
벽돌
it was
집이었습니다.
very cold in New York.
그리고 겨울이 되자
Johnson
굉장히
and
추워졌습니다.
She laid in her bed and she
그리고
did not move.
수는 암에 걸렸습니다. 그리고 의사가 그녀에게 그녀를 매일 검사했습니다. 하지만 그녀는 나아질 기미가 보이지 않았습니다.
One morning,
한
the
아침
doctor spoke quietly to Sue.
의사는 수에게 조용히 말했습니다. 저는 그녀를 도와줄 수 없어요. 그녀는 살고
She
싶지
went into
않아요.
her own room
그리고
and she
그녀는
cried
그녀의
for a few
방에
minutes.
긴 방에 들어가서
Then she
울었어요.
started to
그리고
sing a happy
그는
song.
행복한 노래를 부르기 시작했어요. 그리고 그녀는 존니 씨의 방에 들어갔어요.
Johnson lay
존 씨는
silently.
조용히
Her face was
그냥
still
침대에
and
누워
white.
있었습니다. 그녀의 얼굴은 굉장히
She
창백해
was looking
보였습니다.
towards her window.
그녀는 창문 밖을 보고 있었습니다.
Suddenly,
갑자기
Sue heard a quiet
수는
sound.
조용히 소리를 들을 수
Johnson was
있었습니다.
counting backwards.
존 씨는
12.
숫자를 세고 있었습니다. 12, 11, 10.
There are only 5 beans
나
in the binder,
이제
said
나무에는
Johnson.
5개 입밖에 안
The
남았네.
last
전시가
leaf will
말했습니다.
fall soon.
그리고 이제 마지막 잎새가
And
보이시면
then I'll
떨어질
die.
거야. 그리고 마지막 잎새가 떨어지면 나도 그때
That
죽게 될
night,
거야.
There was a
그날 밤
storm.
폭풍우가
The rain fell
왔습니다.
heavily, and the
비가
wind was
거창하게
very
내려왔고
strong.
바람이 굉장히 세게
Johnson
불어왔습니다.
brought early the
존 씨는
next morning.
다음 날 아침 굉장히 일찍
She looked
일어났습니다.
at towards her window.
그녀는 나뭇가지를
There
봤습니다.
was a still one
하지만
leaf
아직
in the vine.
그곳에는 마지막 잎새가 남아 있었습니다.
That's the last leaf, said
저게
Johnson.
마지막 잎이네. 수준 씨가 말했습니다. 그것은 오늘 떨어질
Shall
거야.
die at the
그리고
same time.
그 같은 시각 나는 죽을 거예요. 라고
The
말했습니다.
leaf stayed on the vine all day.
하지만 그 마지막 잎은 나뭇가지에 하루 종일 붙어 있었습니다. 하지만
In
그날
the
밤
morning,
더욱더
Johnson
많은
walked
폭풍우가
early again.
몰아쳐 왔습니다.
The leaf was still on the vine,
하지만 아직도 그 마지막 잎새는 남아 있었습니다.
and she looked at it for a
그리고
long time.
그녀는 존씨는 침대에 누워 있으면서 그것을 굉장히 오랫동안 쳐다봤습니다.
I ran a very
그리고 수에게
foolish word.
말했습니다. 난 정말 어리석었어,
I
수야.
wanted to
난
die,
죽고 싶었어.
but the last leaf
하지만
has
저
stayed on
마지막
the vine.
잎새가
It
나를
has
더
taught me a
살고 싶게
lesson.
해줬고 그것은 나에게 교훈을
Please bring me
주었어.
a bowl of soup.
나에게 이제 한 그릇에 죽을 주렴 라고 말했습니다.
오케이. 자, 이제 통역 거시기 뽑으세요. 3번? 아, 미안. 그러면 13가를 해보자.
예.
네. 3분마다 바꿔서 해요.
이거? 그래.
그렇지.
뭐 아무것도 안 정해놨습니다 진짜. 생, 로.
13번. 3번 것이지.
싫다. 자,
민트가 어쩌죠?
네 맞습니다.
Excuse me.
실례합니다.
Do you have a legal
당신은
maps? Of
지역
course.
지도 가지고 있으면 당연하죠.
Here you go.
여기 있습니까?
Actually, I'm lost.
사실 저는 길
Where do
잃어버렸어요.
you want to
어디
go,
가고
ma'am? I'm
싶으신가요?
looking for the Guggenheim Museum.
구근하임 박물관 가고 싶은데요.
Oh, you're not too
여기서
far from
그렇게 멀지
here.
않아요.
It's really good.
어디로 가면 되죠?
Just hop on bus number 33
33번
and
버스
it'll take you
타시고
right to the
바로
museum.
박물관
There's a
가면
bus
됩니다.
stop. It's right over there at the corner of the
버스
street.
정류장 어디 있죠?
I see.
바로 저기 코너에 있습니다.
If you take a taxi,
택시를
it'll cost you about
택시 타시면
$5.
5달러 정도 걸려요.
Okay. Thanks for your help.
내실 겁니다. 감사합니다.
I'm always
저는
happy to see
항상
you.
당신과 행복합니다. 저는 다
Say from the bottom of my
제
heart. It's a
마음
pleasure.
깊이서 말합니다.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. The feeling is mutual. Oh, you have to say that. The feeling is likewise. Likewise. New way to introduce to inside to great. It's so much easy. So,
그래서
like you say, yeah, it's pleasure to see
당신을
you.
받을 기쁨이다.
Yeah, it's great to see you. It's likewise. Very good. So, we're going to talk about information
정보에
at the
대해서
information
정보
center.
센터에서
For the information desk. Anywhere you can get
안내
안내.
안내
Anne will be your wife.
당신은 아내가 될 것입니다.
Information wife.
아내가 아니라
This is what you know in Korea. I think this is why Korean is so difficult because one character can give you a whole different world, right? Information was two different words. 안내. Oh, same with Chinese. You can say ma in first. Yeah.
말로 할 수 있지만
마마마마.
하지만 다른 뜻으로 많이
But
사용하지.
we're not teaching Chinese
우리는
or Korean. We're
중국어나
teaching
한국어를
English.
가르치지 않으시기
So let's get started with
영어를
some today
가르치고
key
있으니까
expressions.
오늘은
Alright. So today key expression begin
이걸
with
가봅시다.
do you have
당신은-
any local maps?
당신은 지역 지도를 가지고
So
계시나요?
maybe
라고
The
시작합니다.
unfamiliar rule is local.
로컬이라는 것
Then the woman
단어가
says I'm
익숙하지
looking for
않습니까?
I'm
그렇죠.
looking for
그리고
the Guggenheim
여성이
Museum.
저는
A
구근하게
famous museum in New York.
뉴욕에는 유명한
Then the woman
유명한
says,
곳이죠.
which way do I go?
어디로
Which
가는
way do I
계절이라고
go?
합니다.
This way.
그리고
And then
그리고
woman says,
남성은
just hop on bus number 33.
33번
Just
버스를
hop on.
타세요라고 말합니다.
Like a rabbit.
그리고
Then
남성은
says,
말합니다.
it's right over there at the corner of the street. Right over there. 그리고 여성이 말합니다. 도와주셔서 감사합니다라고 말합니다. 이것이 우리 동네 배울 모든 대화 내용입니다. 이제 메인 주제 대화 주제로 넘어갑시다. 우리의 대화 주제는 굉장히 어색해 보이는 여성에서부터 시작합니다. 실례합니다. 혹시 지역지도 있으세요? 라고 묻습니다. 당연하죠. 여기 있습니다. 네, 감사합니다. 여기서 키포인트는 지역지도입니다. 당신은 지역지도를 가지고 있으시나요? 그렇다면 지역이 무엇일까요? 지역은 지도가 당신에게 보여주는 도시입니다. 하지만 모든 전체 도시가 아니라 이제 특정한 지역을 말합니다. 또는 그것은 전체 도시를 말할 수도 있고 그것은 그 지역에 따라 바뀔 수 있습니다. 그리고 그 지도에 따라서 빅브릿지가 있는 것도 아니고 그리고 지역은 이 지역을 특정해서 말하는 것입니다. 이것은 우리가 지역 지도라고 부르는 것입니다. 대부분 큰 도시에는 우리가 막 펼치고 적어야 되는 엄청 큰 지역 지도가 있습니다. 그것은 모든 동네를 말합니다. 그리고 각자의 다른 지역을 보여줍니다. 뉴욕에는
이제 바꿔주세요.
작은 동네가 있습니다.
영암 바꿔. 영암 바꿔.
아직 아니에요.
아.
4번 봤어요. 동안
논현동,
오케이.
안남동,
안남동,
So you have difference,
그래서
or you have midtown,
다른
downtown, or forward side,
아랫말,
or east side.
위에말
All
그리고
of those areas are different
남쪽과
boroughs of the
다른
city.
지역이 있습니다.
So for asking for a
그래서
local map,
지역 지도가 있는
I
것을
guess
물어보는 것은
for just that
그죠?
borough.
동네를 물어보는 것입니다. 좋습니다.
And first she's
그리고
looking for a
그녀는
local
지역
map.
지도를 찾고
Okay,
있습니다.
and she
그리고
says,
그가 말합니다.
Of course,
당연하죠.
here
여기
you go.
있습니다.
You heard this expression many times before.
우리는
Here you go.
많은 표현들을
Here it
사용합니다.
is.
여기 있습니다.
Yes. And the reason
그리고
why
그 이유,
she's asking
그녀가
is
그
because
지역 지도가 있는 것을
she
물어보는
says,
이유는
actually,
사실
I'm
그녀는
lost.
길을 잃었어요.
길을
잃어버렸어요.
잃어버렸어요. I'm lost.
저는 길을 잃었어요.
This word
이
just
단어는 당신이 기억했으면 좋겠습니다. 왜냐하면 이 단어 표현들은 굉장히 유용하게 사용할 수 있습니다. 당신이 관광객이라면 굉장히 많은 사람들이 올 수 있습니다. 그저 이 표현만 기억하세요. 저는 길을 잃었어요. 전 길을 잃어버렸어요. 도와주세요. 좋습니다. 그래서 그가 뭐라고 말하나요? 어디로 가고 싶은가요? 어디로 가고 싶은가요? 굉장히 쉬운 표현입니다. 어디로 가고 싶은가요? 연습해봅시다. 어디로 가고 싶은가요?
All of these WH questions
EWH
is going
질문들은
to practice the words. 그래서
Where do you? What do you? How do you? Why do you? Where do you? What do you? How do you?
네,
Why
시간
do you?
관계상 잠시만. 네, 여기까지 하고 종료를 하겠습니다. 우리 친구들이 이렇게 수업 시간에 이렇게 자유롭게 아주 자연스럽게 통역을 잘 했었습니다. 네. 자, 이번에는 이제 이거 주시고요. 직진하시면 됩니다. 자, 이번에 원고 발표를 해보겠습니다. 아니죠. 자, 이제 은성이 발표해 주세요. 조금만 뒤로 가주세요. 네. 자, 좋습니다.
Attention. Gulliver's Travel is a novel by Jonathan Swift, and this novel, Gulliver's Travel, is very well-known novel as a children's story, but it's actually a novel that criticizes the English society, particularly its politics. So in the novel, Gulliver travels to 4 islands: Lilliput, Floating Neck, Laputa, and Las Colinas Islands. The first island, Lilliput, was a small people, and at there he met the very small people as just 50 centimeters tall. And actually, he realized that the Lilliput and its neighborhood island, Black Goose Q, was fighting against each other because of just very small issues like how do they break their eggs or what kind of shoes they use. So because these kinds of very small issues they were fighting against each other. So Gulliver was asked to help Lilliput to fight against Black Goose Q. So Gulliver starts to help them, but he thought that it was very ridiculous and he was kind of confused at why they were fighting. So he comes out and says goodbye to Lilliput, and he escapes from Lilliput and comes to England again. And in this island, Swift wanted to tell us that the humans are having the war because of nothing. And actually, I think he wanted to say he is against war, and he didn't want war. So next island was Floating Neck. Floating Neck was an island of giants, and Gulliver was caught by a giant, but they won. At first, Gulliver was treated good at the house, and Gulliver started to say about how many countries that England had colonized, but giants thought it was very foolish thing like colonizing others. So and having like the slaves. Then then the time passed. The Gulliver started to make money by dancing in front of lots of giants. And at this time, Gulliver thinks about it was kind of very ashamed thing to dance in front of giants. And because of this, Gulliver escapes from the giant's land, running neck, and comes back to England. So third island, Laputa. He went to Laputa, which was the island which was floating, and there he met the scientists who have very brilliant ideas, but they can't do it in reality. And actually, the Swiss wanted to criticize he wanted to criticize the Royal Societies, which was the group of scientists in England, and he wanted to criticize them. But actually, at Royal Society, there are lots of great scientists like Isaac Newton's. That actually in this part it is kind of the misnomer of Swiss. And also he meets the very great people, which was known as very great people during 200 or 300 years. But he felt like it was like disgusting, so he realized that how human beings had collapsed during these 300 years. And so he comes down to sea again, and he luckily goes back to the sea. He luckily goes back to England. And the last island, Flinner's Island, at first he met yahoos, which looked like a human and between human and monkeys, and they were very violent, and they tried to attack Gulliver, but he was rescued by a horse, and as he was talking to a horse, and he could gradually learn how to speak the horse's word. He started to talk with horse, and he tells about all of the wars and what they did to other countries in England. So, and horses says that the humans in England was like yahoos. Yahoos were very greedy, and they always fighted each other because of very small things like the booze they eat. So horses thought Gulliver was like a yahoos. So Gulliver didn't want to come back to England, but he was rescued by a sheep, and he came back to England. But as he saw human beings, he thought it was very disgusting, because as the 4 islands he went, he saw lots of kinds of humans like Lilliputians and yahoos, or the scientists of the Laputa, or brooding neck giants. Maybe Oliver thought that the human beings were very gross things, and he felt like disgusting to humans, and he started to say all of the human beings as yahoos. So yahoos, and after a long time passed, he still started to hate human beings. So I think in this whole novel, the Swiss wanted to tell us by seeing these lots of kinds of humans which fought and which was very silly during these old novels. And he wanted to say that first he was against war, and he didn't want to have a war, and he said that everything that causes war are very small thing, and which can be like religions or territories. And also, I think he wanted to say that the human beings were very human beings have collided a lot during these lots of periods of time. So I think Jonathan wanted to tell about or wanted to show the human beings how they were collided, and I think he wanted to say that we should stop war, or we should stop war and start to cooperate each other and help each other to live in this harsh nature. So thank you for listening to my speech.
I have a question in your speech. What do you think that the worst country among these that mentioned in this novel?
And I really put these words because and there I was kind of a little bit shocked by the reason why they were fighting each other, because they were having the different method of breaking the eggs or different shoes they wear, and it was the cause of the war, and I think it was very ridiculous thing.
And what will you try to do that if you're Gulliver and you went to
Roding네? If you're gonna Roding네?
horse
호이남.
Huinam, and what do you try to do if you're Gulliver and you have to return to human being?
Human world.
Yes, human world. Then what will you try to do?
And I think if I am Gulliver, I think I will be pleasant, because Gullivers had a very harsh lives, going to 4 different islands, and after I came back to England, I think more than the discuss of human being, I think I feel very pleasant to come back home.
If you went to Rodingneck, there are lots of very big people in the village, and you'll be a little bit scary, but first you get very good treated by them, but later you have to act like a puppet. Then if you're Gulliver, will you escape this country if you treat it like a puppet?
I think I'll be very kind of angry by myself and also to the Scottish giants. So I think I will try to escape.
What do you think that the writer want to give us the lesson through this book?
Oh, that's good.
I think he wanted to show us that the collapse of the human beings and how many ridiculous and silly things that human being has done, like wars, which was killing every people, and actually the nature is much more stronger than human beings. So I think he wanted to say we should cooperate each other and help each other to live in this harsh life, not fighting against others because of those small things.
My last question is, in this book, his friend suggested the twice of his wages and go to Browning-Neck. Then, if you're Gulliver, will you go to sailing again even when you went to Lilliput?
You go to,
And
like, you arrived accidentally to the Lilliput again? Alright, go.
And I think I'll be very scared about the sea, and I'll try to not to go to the sea and quit the sailing, because it was kind of very unique experience, and I think I'll be very scared about going to other countries than the North, so I will not go to sailing again.
Oh, alright. I got it. Okay, thank you. 미인사.
Hi everyone. Today I'll talk about the book Anne of Green Gables. But before starting my speech, I want to ask you one question, Eun-sung.
Yeah.
If you were orphan, then but you were misarrived at strange house, then what do you will feel and what will you act at that situation?
What do you do?
Yes.
And it's the same time I realized that I came to a wrong house, and the people at that house didn't wanted me. I'll be very kind of sad, and I think it will be very sad thing, and I think it is very.
Yes. In this book, Anne of Green Gables, this situation occurred to Anne. And first, I'll introduce about this information of the book. The book Anne of Green Gables, which was written by Lucy Maud Montgomery, is the story of the growth of a very positive girl Anne. In 20th century, we can say it's classic children novel, but actually it's not suspicious even to say it's for adults. I think we need to learn Anne's positivity and her cheerful
Spirit.
Yeah.
Cheerful spirit. Spirit.
And then what happens to Anne and how can she pleasantly solve the problems? Anne was very cheerful and amazingly lovely girl, though she was an orphan. I think this point is really good for her. One day she was sent to Matthew and Marilla, but there was some miscommunication between the center and them. Actually, they wanted a boy who can work on the farm to help them. But Anne was arrived at the Green Gables. So first, Matthew and Marilla was very surprised about them, and they said that they have to talk about it again. But I think adopting this kind of girl will make the atmosphere more brighter and pleasant. Because while they were living only two of them, I think it must be very quiet and lonely atmosphere in that place. So I think this is a luck that Anne arrived at the Green Gables. But Anne still has cheerful spirit even she misarrived a strange house, and she was cheerful and fortunately that she could be with their family. Luckily Marilla agreed to be a family with her, but she had some rules of it. And after some days later, they became very friendly to each other. At school, she fought with boys, so she was scolded by her teacher, but she was so angry about that problem, so she quit her school for some days, blaming her teacher. But to meet her friend Diana and other girlfriend, she would go to school again. Diana was the first friend of Anne that their character was totally different. So I think this is the point that they want to learn other good things of each other. And there were many events happen between them, but as the time passed by, their friendship grew firm. While Anne and her friends practicing the play, Anne was right. She was hanging on the tree, but at that moment, Gulliver saw the situation, so he helped her to stay alive, and asked her to be a friend with her again. But I think this point, I can understand of the Anne character because Anne refused to be a friend with him again. But I think if I was Anne, I think I will be so happy to be a friend with Gulliver again because he is very smart and he have very good character, and I think when I became a friend with him, I think I can learn a lot of lessons by his personality. And she grew smarter and good sport. So she could get scholarship. Unfortunately, Matthew passed away, and also Marilla's eyesight became so bad, so she decided to create her university and stay with her in the Green Gables. But she has to work in other side because she has to earn the money for her and also for Marilla. So she put her application to other school, and she heard that Gulliver helped her to put application. Then she felt sorry to him, and thanks to it, so she visited his house, and they became friends again at last. And in the next book, they married each other, and they lived very happily. It meant that finally they became friends again. This novel is a story of growth and also friendship. By reading this book, we can look back ourselves and don't get affected of environment or terms. And I think this is the most amazing point that Anne have very positive and cheerful spirit. And this is the point that we have to learn from Anne. It can be a part of magnetism to each other by covering their life, to be a friend with Diana, which have a possibly different character. So this book was very actually while I reading this book, I think this book was so thick and a little bit boring. But by reading this book, I can think about her side, and also I was so sad when the Matthew died at that situation. Thank you for listening to my speech.
So I have a question that in the novel Marilla's life starts to go very bad and Matthew dies, and Crystal University comes back to Green Gables. So if you are Anne, would you come back to Green Gables and help Marilla, or just stay at university?
I think if I were Anne, I think I will stay in the university because I'm so sorry to hear that Marilla are so sick. But if I graduate this good university, I could go to more. I can have more great job in the future. So I think I can earn more money than quitting the university now. So I think I want to go to university.
What is that the payback? Like raising you. What if after you graduate, but there's no Marilla anymore? Ah, so like just abandoning? I don't know.
So the next question is that Gilbert rescues Anne from the boat, and he asks Anne to be friend again, but Anne says no. What would you say to Gilbert when he said to be a friend with him again?
I think I also want to be friend with him because actually if I were Anne, I think there are some annoying point, but if I became friend him again, then there are nothing more that I get stressed and now. So I think I want to be friend with him again, and if I were Anne, I think I want to ask him first to be a friend with me.
Really?
So Anne became a best friend with Diana because they had totally different characteristics.
No, personality.
So what kind of friends do you like? Like what kinds of friends do you like? And for example, the person who has the exactly same personality or exactly different personality.
You mean what kind of a friend do you feel like easy to get along each other?
I think I've saw the news that it's easy to become a friend with totally different
Personality?
but I think it's a little bit strange that if we have similar personality, we have lots of similarities, so it can easy to tag each other in conversation. So I think similar personality is more easier to be friend, but I think if we have totally different personality, also there is a lesson that we can learn from
Each other?
Yes.
Well, but people get attracted because of opposite personality because they're kind of new to us and just like fun. So some of my friends who's very quiet and introverted, they say, I'm very extroverted and they say when they're with me they feel fun, so they hang out with me. They say like this, I think.
So I want to ask you back the first question you gave me. What would you think if you were Anne and you realized you had known that you were kind of the person, the Marilla didn't wanted you at Green Gables, and what would you think about that?
Like first time as soon as the Anne adopted and rejected, if you were Anne, then what would you feel? At that moment, like heartbreaking, right?
I think I'm so afraid of the situation, and I think that it's a dream.
You wish it would be a dream.
I wish it would be a dream because it's so terrible that I thought that it's the last chance and I'm a very lucky girl, but after that I react the fact that I were misarrived at the strange house, and I think it will be very afraid that if they left me again, then it will give me more sick experience, and my emotion will feel like so
Complicated.
Yeah.
Oh, simply complicated. I think like totally breaking heart. Yeah. All right, this is it. Thank you, guys. 이렇게 저희가 1학년 1학기 과정에 했었던 내용들을 좀 이렇게 추려서 보여드려 봤습니다. 수업 시간에 아이들하고 이런 읽고 나서 또 토론 많이 했고요. 또 당연히 수업은 올 잉글리시로 이제 잉글리시로 진행했다 한다. 네, 그래서 영어로만 진행했습니다. 그래서 정말 즐거운 시간이었습니다. 우리 친구들 다 같이 차렷 경례. Thank you for listening.